All right, y'all, Rel Moody here. I am super excited to share with you, genuinely, how to turn 3 minutes of your talk into a full calendar, a calendar full of speaking engagements. Big promise, but I think as you pay attention to every single word of what I'm about to share with you, you'll see how it's possible with something really, really cool that you're gonna get access to that's called Talkadot, right? Now, as a speaker, it is a very mercurial business. What's very fascinating with the industry of speaking is that we have these highs and we have these lows. Sometimes you're speaking 20 times in a month, and sometimes you're speaking 0 times in a month. And figuring out how to pull your speaking business along can be very, very challenging. Some of us are just getting started. Getting that initial momentum to get going is extremely, extremely difficult, right? So my job is to show you how to put wheels on this bad boy so it flows a little bit easier, whether you're just getting started or whether you've been in the game and you're trying to figure out how do you get more speaking engagements. That's what this is going to show you how to do. So you really, really, really want to be here. And also, I just want to address this. I know this is a Zoom call and it's the evening when we are recording this, depending upon which part of the world you're in. Some of y'all may not really be paying attention. Some of y'all might be clipping your toenails right now. Some of you might be washing dishes. I promise you, whether you are clipping your toenails or fully engaged, please, please, please do me a favor. Give me your attention, because some of the things I'm gonna show you are going to be visual. And if you miss it, then c'est la vie, it gets mixed. Okay. Now, here is the simple truth that most speakers miss. I want to simplify the entire speaking business for you. If you want to book more speaking engagements, if you want to get in front of more people, the very simple thing that you have to do is this truth that I see so many speakers miss. And that truth is make it easy for people to say yes to booking you, right? It's amazing how difficult we actually make things for people to say yes. For example, if you don't have a website, it's really hard for someone to book you. If you don't have pictures of you speaking, if you don't have titles and presentation descriptions, if you don't have a video demo, these things are all friction points that make it harder and harder and harder for people to say yes. But many of you probably have a website, probably have some speaking clips, probably have videos, pictures, and all that fun stuff, but there is still something that is missing in so many speakers. So our job is to make it as easy as humanly possible to get people to say yes, and I'm gonna show you how we do that. Oh, Glenn, you in my neighborhood. Shout out to Glenn. Glenn, hold on, I can't see a video. I just looked in the chat and I saw Glenn said where he's from. You gotta holler at me if you up in my neck of the woods, Glenn. Okay, here we go. So very quick background on me. Some of you may know who I am. Some of you may have no idea who I am. So just to give you context that I'm not talking about the speaking industry as someone who is a complete newbie or doesn't know anything about it. My name is Rel Moody. I have been a professional speaker for 17 years. I've spoken in the education market. I've spoken in the corporate market, in the nonprofit market. I've literally spoken in 48 states, 5 countries, 750,000 people. Myself and my work have been featured in the New York Times, USA Today, Forbes, Black Enterprise, Essence Magazine. I've been a contributor to TV shows like The Doctors. I've done multiple TEDx talks that have hundreds of thousands of views. I've been invited to speak at the White House 2 times. Inc. magazine named me to their 30 under 30 list of America's top young entrepreneurs. My speaking has allowed me to be a contributor to TV shows and things like that. And speaking has actually opened up an incredible opportunity for me to actually become the host of a show that is currently on Disney Plus. So that's me right there. And there's a really, really great show. It's a family-friendly show that is on Disney Plus. If you have Disney Plus, you can go on Disney Plus right now, type in Family Reboot, and you'll find the show that I am the host of. And all of these opportunities, best-selling author, speaking at the White House, building millions of dollars in my speaking industry, connecting with people, getting the TV show that I was able to get, it all happened because of professional speaking. That was the catalyst. That's the thing that opened the door for me to do all the things that I'm happy with. And a lot of it came from the simple idea of how do I make it as easy as possible for people to work with me, to book me. Now, what's fascinating is there's something that has been missing in the world of speaking. And there's no good reason. Let's break it down. If we want to make it easy for people to say yes to booking us so we can open up opportunities like speaking engagements and making money and impacting lives and doing cool things, we first have to fundamentally understand, how do people say yes today? How do people make decisions? Now, one of the ways that they make decisions I'll show you. I'll give you an example. This is a great cartoon by a speaker named Shep Hyken. I'm going to read it to you. It's a taxi driver that says, "My life is miserable. My wife can't stand me. My kids don't listen to me, and I hate my job." The guy in the back goes, "Well, maybe I should charge for therapy instead of having to pay a cab fare." Out of curiosity, I don't know if anyone's had this experience, but give me a yes in the chat if you've ever had a cab driver that was late, smoking, unprofessional, or some type of miserable experience with a taxi cab driver at some time in your past, okay? So I'm seeing some no's. Shout out to all of you. This is amazing. Roof, never had a bad tax. I've had people smoking cigarettes in my car. I've had cabs say that they were gonna be there in 10 minutes and didn't show up till like 45 minutes later. So if you've never had that experience before, you're living a very, very good life. But what happened? Uber came along and Uber said, you know what? This is a totally inefficient industry. We're gonna make it way quicker. But here's what they did that was almost on paper cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. They said, we're gonna take non-professionals, regular people, and you're gonna get in the car with a stranger and drive around town. But you know what? There's something that Uber uses to make you feel comfortable to jump on inside of a car of a stranger who's a non-professional driver to take you from point A to point B. It's the exact same thing that Airbnb uses. I want you to catch this. Why do you feel comfortable going to a home in Hamilton, New York that you've never seen, don't know the owner, and you're willing to literally sleep in a stranger's home? Because they have something that makes it easy for you to say yes. It's the exact same thing that Amazon uses to make you feel comfortable making lickety-split decisions to make purchases that normally would take you hours, if not days of research. You know what that is? Reviews. Think about it. If you don't have a 5-star rating on Uber, people ain't gonna get in the car with you, you get kicked off the platform. If you go to Airbnb, you don't care what people say about the description. You wanna see the pictures, sure, but what you really care about, what do other people have to say? What are unbiased third-party feedback of someone who doesn't have skin in the game that's giving their experience with it? Now, let's say I wanna go on Amazon right now and I wanted to buy a microphone. And let's say I had $400 to buy a microphone. I do a quick search, I see what's the highest rated microphone in my budget, and I purchase it. That's pretty much how it happens. Now, as long as I know it's a real thing and other people have used it and they like it, I'm a happy camper. Now, this is what's fascinating. How do we do that as speakers? Well, here's what's interesting. Reviews, actual reviews like Uber, Amazon, these type of things, Yelp, Trustpilot, all those things allow for unbiased assessment. This is key, and I want you to catch this because if you fundamentally get what I'm about to say next, it's going to radically change the way you approach booking speaking engagements, okay? Today, buyers want to feel comfortable making a decision to purchase, and they do not want to trust your sales copy. They want to go, I want someone else to verify you. I want unbiased third-party people to tell me how good or how bad their experience was so I can begin to trust it. And this is the not so top secret because I know what some of you are thinking right now. I got you covered, Arel. I put testimonials on my website. I already know. I'm good. I've already solved the problem. Oh, word? You think you solved it? Let's be transparent. We've interviewed tons of event planners. You know what they've told us? They said they know you only put your best testimonial on your website, right? How many of you on your website right now say, I was the 17th best speaker at the conference? How many of y'all do that? Nobody. That's the answer, right? Because we're only going to put the best of the best of the best testimonials. Now, if you don't have testimonials, obviously that's not great. But if you do, there's no real way to tell the difference between you and everyone else. So what happens for a lot of event planners, it's actually extremely hard for them to make decisions on whether they should book you. So what event planners typically rely on is either if they've seen you speak themselves, or they've been directly referred by someone who's seen you speak, because when you go to a website, everyone looks exactly the same. And if you don't believe me, go to anybody's website right now, any speaker, and you know what you're gonna see on it? A real big picture of them. You're going to see a bunch of testimonials saying funniest, best rated speaker we ever had at our conference. You're going to see some testimonials, some media things, and then they're going to say book me to speak. It all looks exactly the same. And if you look exactly the same as everyone else, you know what that's called? Death. Because how do I make a decision about you over someone else, right? Our job as speakers is to stand out. What I want to help, the problem I want to help you solve with what we're going to show you today with something called Talkadot is how to make it easier for you to stand out and for people to say yes to booking you using third-party reviews and testimonials and feedback. And I'm going to show you exactly how this all works. And it's going to be super simple and super easy once you see the flow of how we do it. Gone are the days or super complex things or super clunky things that you hate. I can't wait to show you why. Now, if you're ready to stand out, that is super important. But here's the other thing. Okay, so once you get the first thing, reviews and third-party unbiased testimonials, unbiased feedback separates you. But right now, we don't really do a great job of collecting it. As speakers, we don't do a great job of collecting that. So the secret is to become an evidence-based speaker. Now, here's what I mean. When you collect data from your audience, you get to answer Data Dan's questions. Now, if you don't know who Data Dan is, that's a character I've made up in my head. He sits on every single committee that books speakers. You know who Data Dan is? He's the person who says this. What data do you have to back up what you're saying? Oh, Ruth, you want me to book you to speak? What evidence do you have to back up that everything you're saying you can do, you can actually do? Now, most speakers actually don't have an answer to that. So when they want data, when they want evidence, people say things like, oh, well, my resume is my evidence. I've been doing this for 20 years. That's my evidence. No, that's not evidence. The highest paid speakers, if you actually start contacting them, and I know many of the highest rated speakers, like I'm pretty high rated myself, I think, right? Collect feedback, collect data. They want to actually show when you bring me in, you will get measurable results. Now, lots of people use that language on their website. Hey, bring me in, I provide measurable results. And then people say, let me see the results. Well, if you book me, that's how I'm gonna get measurable results. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. You actually have to show data. So when you show data, you become what's called an evidence-based speaker. So one of the big things that I want all of you to take from this is collecting data, collecting audience feedback, and showing the impact to prove the effectiveness of your presentation puts you in a whole new stratosphere of speakers. It puts you at the top of the top, and those are the people that get easily said yes to and book more speaking engagements. And of course, I'm gonna show you how to do it, but I want you to get this philosophy so that when you see the practical way to do it, it makes more sense. Now, the other thing that you want to do as a speaker that almost all speakers miss is building your leads and your list. So this is what I mean. When you go to speak, imagine if every single person you spoke to, you can get them on your email list. How easy would it be to eventually sell books to them, sell courses to them, sell coaching to them, or sell more speaking engagements? Well, really easily. But most people don't do a good job. And in every audience, there's someone who can book you to speak. But this is the challenge when you're actually good as a speaker. How many of you have had this experience before? Okay, you can write yes in the chat if you have. If you don't want to write in the chat because you don't, whatever. I just want you to capture this. Okay, so this is a speaking engagement I gave at a high school a couple years back. When I was done, a bunch of students rushed me. And I know you've had this experience before. You do a great job. People rush you because they want to talk to you. They want to ask you questions. They want to take pictures with you. Now, have you ever seen that person who gets uncomfortable because they're waiting too long? And you see them moving back and forth, and then they leave because they're like, I don't want to wait on this line. So here's what happened in this particular presentation. I speak at this school. I'm done speaking, and I talk to people. I hang out with people. I go talk. It's about 2 hours later. I start leaving, and then an administrator chases me down and says, Arel, stop. Here's my card. I want to book you to speak at a national conference that I'm on the board of. So I took their card. I said, oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. And we made the deal happen. Now, here's what's fascinating. What if that person didn't catch me? What if we didn't have that lucky happenstance to run into each other? Now I've got to hope that they remember me and hope that they remember my name and hope they reach out to me. And sometimes when people get done with what they're doing, they move on to their next to-do list. So in your audience, when people come up to you, let's be 100% honest. Just transparently speaking, give me a yes if you agree with what I'm about to say. In a perfect world, everyone who is willing to book you to speak and wants to hand you their business card, you'd like to talk to them first and then talk to everybody else. But what happens is sometimes people are like shooting the breeze with you. They're like, "Oh, Rel, you're from New York City. I'm from New York City. Do you like the Knicks? I like the Knicks. Thank you, DS." Glenn says, "Yes, I appreciate it." Right? Like, but that's what we want. We want the people who can do business with us at the front of the line. Let's grab all the business ops and then let's talk to everybody else casually. But right now, there's no way to tell who in your audience is that person who can book you to speak. Now, if you do Zoom presentations, right? Like webinars are still a thing, virtual presentations are still a thing. Here's what doesn't happen ever on a Zoom call. There's no line of people that come up to you afterwards. The moment I hit the end meeting for all button on this Zoom call, none of us are having a conversation because virtual is not built like that. If you actually think about your in-person presentations, when you do an in-person presentation, those hallway conversations afterwards are where your value, that's usually where the business deals come from, but you can't do that in a Zoom call. And ideally, you want to find that one person in every one of your audiences that can book you to speak. That's what we want to find. If every time we spoke, there was one person in the audience who could book us to speak, and they identified themselves that they can book us to speak, every single speaking engagement helps lead to another. And if we build our list, our email list of everyone that sees us speak, and we build that every time we speak, the value of our ability to sell things, our ability to get more business gets bigger and bigger and bigger, okay? Now, how do we do all of that? Enter Talkadot, okay? So this is, now that we have the concept, the perspective, and how it works, let's solve all those problems. What we have built is a tool specifically for speakers. Now, what's interesting about most tools, like software tools, they're built for other people, and then you got to figure out how to make it work for you. What if something, instead of Google Forms or a SurveyMonkey, which are fine for lots of things, but what if you can have a way to create an easy experience that thinks about all of your needs and solves all the problems we talked about? So we have a slide like this that we create within our software tool called Talkadot. You get one QR code that's connected to you. All you have to do is take this slide, which you create in your Talkadot account, insert it towards the end of your presentation. Now, here's the secret. You don't want to ask for people to give you feedback at the end of your presentation. You usually, as a speaker, we have a closing, right? Typically you have a call to action, a final thought, a story, an emotional high, a poem, some type of finisher, right? Some type of closing. So you do your content and then you transition to it, or maybe you end with Q&A as an example. So that moment when you're transitioning to your closing, you just ask people to give you feedback. I can give you the exact script on what to say that will get 60 to 80% of your audience to give you feedback. And again, I will go over that. That is my promise. So if anyone's like, well, what do I say? How do I get them to get feedback? I'll go over that at the end, but I just want you to see how this works, okay? So Talkadot will solve all these problems. Let me break down how this works. I'm gonna bring up my form here. Here we go. All right. So let me hit share because I want you to see how this goes down. Okay, great. So when someone takes out their phone and scans the QR code, now, as we all know, QR codes are ubiquitous now in our society. You can't go to a restaurant without having someone say, scan a QR code to get a menu. People scan the QR code and this pops up, okay? So this is a feedback form. Now, if they scan the QR code that we give you, a code will pop into here automatically. If not, they can type it in. So this code then tells our system to give away something for free to the audience for giving them your feedback. So remember I said I'll tell you how to tee it up? This is how you tee it up. So when you're here and you want to get people to give you feedback, you just say, how many people found my talk valuable? Oh my gosh, thank you so much. The best way you can pay me back is to let me know what you thought about this presentation. I want to know what you liked about it so I can do more of it. I want to know what you disliked about it so I can improve upon it. And your feedback helps me do just that. So if you go ahead and scan this QR code, you'll see a less than 2-minute feedback form. I'd love to know your thoughts about it. And as a thank you for giving me your feedback, if you put in the code LIST, I will give you access to a list of 19 groups that book speakers. People go, oh my gosh, I want that thing. And then they go and give you your feedback. They go ahead and put in their email address, and let me show you what happens with this feedback flow, okay? Actually, let me show you this first. I'm gonna show you the feedback flow in a moment, but let me show you what you get. You get a beautiful report like this from what I'm about to show you. This report is gonna be your secret to getting more evidence-based and booking more speaking engagements and building your leads. So this is what happens. They put in their email, and then we ask them questions. Now, how they answer those questions will send our tool in different directions. It's called branch logic for anyone who's like nerdy like me. Now, if we say, was this session valuable? And they say yes, it goes in one direction. If they say no, it wasn't valuable, it goes in a different direction. Well, why? Because if it wasn't a valuable presentation, we want to capture why so we can figure out how to improve. So let me take you through the flow of what someone in your audience will experience when you ask them to give them feedback. So let's say they say, yes, it was valuable. We have a 1 to 5 Likert scale with emojis. These are quick tap answers. We have 5 questions pre-built for you. If you like our questions, you can use them. If you don't like them, if you get one of our pro accounts, you can change them, but for free, you get access to this. So was it actionable? Was it engaging? Was it interactive? Was it inspiring? Or was it relevant? Okay. Now we ask, how interested are you hearing future sessions by Arel? Please remember this. This is going to be the magic question, okay? Because this is going to help you get so much more business. It's going to blow your mind. I'm going to show you exactly how. So you go, yes, we want to hear from Arel. Great. Now we have what's called our lead generation portion. We ask, do you book speakers for events? If they say no, we totally bypass everything I'm about to show you, so they're never getting questions that's not relevant to them. If they say yes, we want to find out if they want to book you to speak. So let's assume they say yes, they do book speakers. Okay, great. Well, would you like to book Bruce to speak? And they go, yeah, I have an event in mind. Let's book Bruce. Great. What's the best way for Arel to contact you? So they put in their name here. We pull their email from what they put before. They drop in their phone number. They drop in their title and their organization. We'll just make up Awesome Inc. here. Wow. Okay, cool, great. Now, if they said no, they don't book speakers, they totally bypass that. And if you're ever doing a presentation where it's not appropriate for you to capture leads, you can turn that portion of it off. But I like to keep it on because I like to grow my business as best I can. Now we ask the final 2 qualitative questions. Now that we've got data, quantitative, we want qualitative as well. So we found that this is the best question to ask to get really good feedback. If you just ask people, what did you like about my presentation? They're going to say something like, it was good, but they're not going to say like anything really like website worthy. So when you ask this question, they answer however they want to answer. It was the greatest presentation. Bruce showed me how to clone my best clients. Thank you so much, Bruce. Now I know everything I need to do to be super successful. Great. Now, what else should the event organizer know? And this is where they can say things like the air conditioner was too cold, or nothing, it was great, or you said something and it was offensive, or I wish there was more of this or more of that. Whatever people want to say, that'll go here. And then it brings them to this end screen. So let me show you why this is so simple but so powerful. If, oops, let me go back here. If and only if someone says, I book speakers and I'd like to book you, and here's my contact information, does this blue button pop up? It says book a meeting. You can connect your Calendly, your schedule once, your you can book me, whatever your calendar is, so people can click on this and jump right on your calendar, right? And schedule a meeting. If they're a super hot lead, they can schedule a meeting right then and there. For everyone else, this is their bonus. Remember I said, I'll give you a list of 19 groups that book speakers. So here's that PDF, someone can click on it, and here's the list of the 19 groups that book speakers, right? And we'll make sure everyone can get access to that. The other thing is we have your social media as links. This is super important, though it might seem simple. Most of us put up a slide at the end of our presentation with our contact information, and we say, please stay in touch with me. How many people actually stay in touch with you? Almost no one, right? Because they have to manually type it in. But with this, you can easily tell people, jump on Instagram or jump on LinkedIn, click on that, and they can find you. Now you can add whatever social media you like. I personally prefer LinkedIn over all social media right now. So I'm way more active on LinkedIn and Instagram. So like stuff like Facebook is like for personal, and Twitter I don't really use. So whatever you want to do, you can put that there, and then you can actually build your followers. As soon as they are done giving you this feedback, the moment they're done, instantly you get a report like this. So this was a presentation that I did for an organization. Okay, so I'm going to show you how this report works. Gone are the days of using like a Google form and all your sponsors go into an Excel spreadsheet, a Google spreadsheet, and you never look at them. Even if you do, like most people don't do feedback. If you do feedback, it goes into a spreadsheet, no one ever looks at it. Or it goes into like a Survey Monkey, and then you got to do screenshots and put it into a PDF, and it's just super annoying. Now, everything is turned into a beautiful report for you. So with this report, you see how many people responded, how many people found your session valuable, right? Your keynote, your workshop, and how many people want to hear you speak again. Now, let me show you why this is magic. My rebooking rate has gone through the roof. Why? Because of this. What I do is take this report along with this data right here. So these are my top 4 scores. My relevant score, 92%, engaging score, 92%, actionable score, 91, right? I then go to share this report and I go download this report. And immediately all of my data is turned into a beautiful social media image, okay? Now, yes, I can post this to Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, which I do, but here's what I like to do. I like to insert this image into a follow-up email to my host. I also will grab a testimonial from down here, which I'll show you, and I'll include it in that email. Then I'll give them a report link, this copy report link right here, and say, see what everyone had to say. But this is the magic, folks. Number 1, I say, look, 96% of this audience said that they want to hear me speak again. Clearly, this message has resonated with your audience. Let's talk about rebooking one of my other sessions or booking one of my other sessions, because clearly this is more content that your audience wants. So the rebooking conversation that you typically have that's uncomfortable, did you like it? I liked it. Maybe we can do this again sometimes. It feels like an awkward first date. It's like, no. It's data. The audience wants you to bring me back. Let's go ahead and talk about getting brought back. So this right here, if you have a pretty good score, it really, really goes well, right? So Kevin asked, does we have a mobile app? No, we 100% don't have a mobile app, and we don't on purpose. The reason why we don't have a mobile app, for those curious, is because getting someone to download your app is close to impossible today. And if you don't believe me, think about how many apps you've downloaded recently. Some people download them and delete them. By making this a web-based tool, anyone can access it and you can log in at any time. So it's a great question. It's a very intentional reason why it's not a mobile app. It's mobile friendly, you can use it on your smartphone, but we're not asking people to download anything because that is a nightmare to do. So I won't get into the logistics of it, but great question, Kevin. So once people say they want to hear me speak again, what we then have down here, here's the other thing. So I take the image of the data, I insert it into the email. I take the testimonial data, which is down here. So this is what people had to say about my talk. So this one person, this is amazing. I think you had a Herculean task and addressed it well. You were measured and thoughtful and spoke to the points without being pointed. Online training is hard, but you knocked it out of the park. So I can click on these 3 dots and put download shareable testimonial. Now I've got a testimonial that I can also insert into my presentation. And what I like to do is insert 1 or 2 of my favorite. Now, if I want to bring some of my favorite to the top, I can star it like that, star it like that, and then, star it like that. Let's say I want to, star those 3. And then when I go to share this report and download testimonial, you'll see that these 3 testimonials are on one page. So I can post what people are saying about me after my presentation, but this is the key. This is the key. You insert this into your follow-up email. Now, the other thing that I do in my follow-up email, if you don't do this, this is going to dramatically improve your rebooking rate. The other thing that I do is I say, please share this report with any other stakeholder that didn't get a chance to see me speak. Here's what happens. The CFO that signs your check probably isn't in the audience. So they go, we just spent a lot of money to bring David in. Was he worth it? Yeah, he was worth it. We got data to prove that it was worth it. But they almost never see you speak. Or someone at the conference, if you're speaking at a conference, maybe they were busy doing something else and they don't know how the event went. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. I want to give you ways to up-level yourself much beyond the average speaker. Truthfully speaking, when you're done giving a speaking engagement, you know what the very first thought is that we all have as speakers? I'm pretty sure you have it. I know I have it the moment I'm done with my talk. How'd I do? Did they resonate with me? Did they like it? Like, will people come up to me? Are they gonna walk up to me and be like, oh my gosh, Aurel, you sucked? And then like your whole, you're like, I've done this a million times, but this is the one time I sucked, right? So what I do is I immediately log into my account the moment I have a free moment, and I check, did they do well? Did I resonate? Oh my gosh, 100% found it valuable. Oh my gosh, I did do well. This is the thing that I do. And I want you to catch this because this is game changing. This report is instantly ready. So you can either A, if you have your laptop, show this to your host and go, hey, real quick, I just want to show you the data from our event. Look how awesome this is. Or you can click here, download this image, and you can text it to them. Let's say, hey, I just wanted to text you this image if you have their cell phone. Thank you so much for bringing it in. It was so helpful. Or you can show it on your phone right after your presentation. The reason why that's so powerful is because your client, your host, the moment you're done, you know what they're thinking to themselves? Did the audience like it? Was this a good session? What did I make a good decision? So here's how your host currently finds that out. They walk up to people, and you've seen this happen, I bet, and they go, "What did you think about the speaker? What did you think about the speaker?" They're like gauging people's like emotional response. Now, look at this. 96% of the people said they want to hear me speak again. 3 people said they don't want to hear me speak again. What if the first person that they asked, "What did you think about the speaker?" was one of these 3 people? Well, then they're gonna think I sucked. They're gonna be like, "Oh, I spoke to people in the audience. Well, didn't do a good job." And you're like, "Oh Lord, like there's no way I'm gonna get 100% of the time. Oh my gosh, what the heck," right? But now they instantly can be like, "Oh my gosh, this is so cool. Look how powerful this is. It really was effective." So immediately your host can minimize any stress levels they have. Your host can now be happy knowing that they brought you in and you did a great job. So this is your audience testimonial here. We give you a snapshot of what everyone has to say about you. So you can also click view all and see what everyone had to say in character count order, because he is awesome, is super kind, but not necessarily like going to be made to my website or anything like that. And then over here is any attendee feedback. So this person says, "Oh, it's the best speaker I've ever had the honor of experience." Great, let me download that. I want the host to see that because that's darn good, right? But then if I go down here, these are where I get suggestions for improvement. So I had one person who was like, "Hey, you need more interaction, buddy." Okay, great. Maybe I need to go back to that presentation and see if I could be more interactive. So if there are suggestions for improvements, they go here. Now, some of you might be thinking this, so let me address the elephant in the room. But Aurel, what if someone says something negative about me? Look at this. Hold on. Where was it? Someone said something. I know I saw it. Oh, this one. I didn't find this one as interesting as the 2 previous ones. Not sure why. Well, that's not the greatest feedback in the world, but I want you to catch this. By me sharing this report, now I click share this report link, copy this report link, and this creates a public view of this. I can share that with anyone. When they see that, 100% of people didn't want to hear me speak again. 100% of people didn't give me a great score. Yes, someone actually said this wasn't the best presentation they heard me do. I did 3 presentations for this one. The other 2 they loved. This one they didn't love as much. Okay, but here's what it does. It builds trust. And I'll prove it to you. Have you ever gone on Amazon to buy a product and it had nothing but 5-star reviews, not 1 4-star, not 1 3-star, not 1 2-star, not 1 star? Do you know what you immediately think? Fake reviews. I don't trust it. They bought those reviews. So actually having positive and negative actually makes you more trustworthy, because if you're willing to showcase everything, if you're not afraid of saying like, "Look, here's me and all my glory and what I stand for," then people go, "Oh, you know what? They're not hiding anything." But if all of these were 100% all the time, I'm clearly, stuffing the ballot. You know what I mean? So you want to show the real deal. Now, the great thing about that is if you are not getting 100%, that's okay. If you're getting like 30% value ratings, well, clearly something's wrong with your presentation. You shouldn't be getting scores that low. So if you are getting scores that low, that's actually good feedback, because that means, well, there's something fundamentally that's not connecting with my audience. I need to figure out what it is based on what they're saying, fix it so that I can get my ratings up. And then when you do a great job speaking, you get booked, rebooked over and over and over again, okay? So now this data report also becomes a tool for your social media branding. Now here's what's fascinating. I have booked speaking engagements by taking this data report right here and posting it on LinkedIn. LinkedIn by far has gotten me way more traction than anything else. So what I do, and this is what you do, I bet. You give a speaking engagement, what do your pictures look like on LinkedIn after you do a speaking engagement? Here's a picture of you on stage speaking. Here's a picture of you with your arms around a group of people, smiling, happy, and being jovial. That's the picture that we all post. Again, it looks all the same. But what if you can say, "Oh my gosh, I just spoke to XYZ company. They brought me in to speak. It was so powerful. I'm so grateful for them. Look at this data of how effective the presentation was. I love getting to teach people X, Y, and Z. It is such an honor." I started posting data on how effective my talks were. And I had 2 people say, "Aurel, I've been seeing your posts. These are amazing. I want to talk about bringing you in to speak." And I booked a whole lot of business, and they were really, really big contracts actually. But it's because they saw my feed and they saw my data. So by posting this on your social media everywhere, your LinkedIn, your Facebook, your Twitter, right? Tumblr, if you got Tumblr still, right? You actually start building that effectiveness trust that you are actually really good. And then if you ever need a post and you're not sure, I can go, all right, this is a great training for us. Cool. I could throw it out on a Facebook story real quick. And I do that all the time. I go back to previous ones I posted. So I always have marketing materials. But you see this little thing right here that says my leads? This is where it gets a little more interesting. Now, this is not real data, okay? So don't email any of these because they're not real. But let me show you what we do for you. Everyone, when they fill out your feedback form, if they say yes, they book speakers, yes, they book you, and yes, they give you their contact information, they go into your bookings category. So these are all the people that say, I'd like to book you to speak. Please get in touch with me. And you can click on any of these drop-down arrows right here and see what they had to say about you. And then you can give them a call or reach out to them and say, thanks so much for attending my session. I saw that you were interested in booking me to speak. Let's talk more about that. You can get people on your calendar and you have a group of people that you can follow up with over and over and over, okay? So it's really, really, really cool. Someone said, can we send the template after other speaking types like audio events, live, in person? Yeah, exactly. You can use this on, you can use Talkadot. I think you're asking this question. Can I use it on like podcasts, webinars, things like that? Yes, 100%. You can use that on that. It's best to not send Talkadot after you talk, like, hey, I spoke, now let me send it to you. Because if you do it that way, you'll get a very low response rate. If you send a survey after you speak, you'll get, if you're lucky, 10% of the audience to actually fill it out. By doing it in your speech, and it takes literally 3 minutes to tee it up for them to do it and then you to transition. I'm happy to tell you exactly what to say if anyone's interested in how to do that, what to do while people are filling it out. But if you actually ask people to fill it out in a 3-minute window during your presentation before your close, you'll get 60 to 80% of your audience to fill out your Talkadot form. It's absolutely game changing. Your host is going to be blown away that you actually got this much feedback, and it consistently happens. Okay, so I'm going to answer that question. Now, this section right here is your referral section. These are people that during your feedback flow said, I don't book speakers, but I know someone who does, and I'd like to introduce you to them. So you reach out to these people by saying, hey, I hear that you book speakers. That you want to refer me to someone who books speakers. Tell me more about the introduction. Fantastic. And then everyone here on the email opt-in, these are people who gave you their email address that you can add to your email list. And we have something right here that says download leads. So if you click on, so if I select all and then click on that, it'll download everything as a CSV file. So if you've got a CRM, or if you got like MailChimp or ConvertKit or some type of email marketing service, you can easily upload it into that and then put them into your newsletter campaign. Now, my personal recommendation, when you upload people who are booking, upload them to your newsletter and tag them as someone who wants to book you. If someone wants to refer you, add them to your newsletter and add them to someone who wants to refer you. So if you want to ever segment how you do your communication, you can send a message out just to the people who want to book you, or just to the people who want to refer you, or to everyone. Now, if for any reason you don't have a newsletter, well, now you can start building your newsletter list. One of the reasons we don't do a newsletter is because I don't want to write a newsletter and send it out to 5 people. That's a waste of my time. But now if I have hundreds or thousands of people that can now receive my newsletter, it becomes way more advantageous for you to start sending out announcements and content. And all of this is automatically done for you, or auto-magically done for you, with just this one slide. Literally, the biggest tech thing you have to do is take this slide and insert it into your deck. Ask people to take it, and in less than 3 minutes, all of this incredible things happen on the back end. Now, here's what's really cool. Right here, this is called your offer, okay? So here is how you add a cool thing you want to give away. It's super simple. If you have a link like to a special website or web page where you have cool stuff for people, like here is a list of 5 videos where I teach you how to do X, Y, and Z training. You can post that link here or upload it as a PDF or image or a video or audio program right then and there. Title it whatever you want to title it, for you to remember. Then you come up with a cool word, like, maybe client or whatever, right? Like a simple word for them to type in so that they can get access to whatever is in line 1. You can turn on or off your lead generation here. So that's, do you book speakers? And then these are those 5 Likert questions, and you can click here and choose from our word bank of other words. So maybe instead of actionable, you want to do entertaining because you're like a funny guy. So you want to do fun or whatever. If we don't have anything that you like, just let us know. We'll add it to the word bank if it's like appropriate. And then you can also add a custom question. So if you want to say like, hey, I do coaching, or you're interested in my coaching program, or I talked about 3 things today, what thing resonated with you the most? So if you want to kind of figure out anything that's particularly of interest to you, you can add an additional question. Then you click create offer right there. And when you click create offer, a slide like this automatically pops up. And then all you got to do is download that slide, insert it into your presentation, and you're done. That's literally it. That's it. That's all you got to do. And all of this works for you. Now, if you go down here, this is how all of your presentations come in, okay? Now, when you speak, you can either add a new speaking engagement ahead of time. If you're someone who likes to add information, you can add the details and information ahead of time, or you don't add it ahead of time. And then the information comes in. Now, here's what happens. All right, so this is a insurance agency that I spoke at, right? So it says Big I, Michigan, and then that's the title of the organization, and here's the title of my speaking engagement. If I don't add any information, it looks like this. It just says speaking engagement report. So you don't want to go on the internet and share something that just says nothing, because there's no like data behind it. So you want to actually add your details. So if you don't add it beforehand, as the data comes in, you can just click on it, add it, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Or you can click on it and add it after it comes in. Now, the other thing that we have for you, I'm gonna show you one more thing, and then I'm gonna do something cool, is we have your public profile. So here's what's super cool about your public profile, okay? Oh, I saw some questions pop into the chat. I'm gonna answer those right after I show you this. So thank you for putting those in. Keep having the questions coming. I love these questions, okay? Now, as you continue to speak and speak and speak, this is my public profile, okay? So when you get started, it's gonna have less numbers. It doesn't matter, no one cares. This is about collective. Why is this so important? Now what I do when I do an email marketing outreach, or if there's a bureau or an agency that I wanna work with, I'll give them a link to my public Talkadot profile that says, here is all the data from my recent speaking engagements of what people had to say about me. Now look, 2,730 people have given me feedback. 99% said my talks were valuable. 97% said they want to hear me speak again. In terms of how practical it is, 100%, how educational it is, how informative it is, how engaging, how interactive, like these are high scores. The reason why this is valuable, and then there's a little bit of information about me, what I speak about, and then here's all of my presentations, all here for people to scroll through and see what I had to say. The reason why that's so valuable is I'm saying, look, someone can be good once, someone can be good twice, but if someone is consistently getting high scores, you can feel comfortable saying yes to bringing me in to speak. So when I apply to speak at conferences, if anyone's doing like requests for proposals, I always now include this link, and my acceptance rates to conferences has skyrocketed. If I'm doing email outreach, I include this link and I say, here's what people had to say about my speaking engagements. We back everything up with data and audience feedback. They click on it and they can see for themselves how powerful my presentations are. And literally, you don't gotta do nothing. You don't gotta send this to Canva and do it yourself and become an unpaid graphic designer. You don't have to hire someone on Upwork or Fiverr or any of those things, okay? Now, someone asked the question, I'm gonna jump back to this. What do these symbols mean? So a hot lead, a warm lead, and a cold lead. These icons, if someone is a hot lead, that means that they said they wanna book you to speak, and they give you their name, their email address, their phone number, their title, and their organization. That means they gave you everything. But maybe someone says they possibly want to book you to speak, then they're automatically considered warm. And maybe they say they want to book you to speak, but they don't fill out anything that's really helpful for you. Like they don't give you your the title or the email or something like that. Then it's going to be cold. Okay. So this is just an example of how this works here. But it's basically if someone's hot, reach out to them more quickly. If someone's warm, you can reach out to them second. And if someone's cold, you can reach out to them third. That's basically what it means. Great question. Let me see other questions that I think popped in. Would that newsletter be off of Talkadot? No, the newsletter, Janae, that would be something that you can email through like MailChimp, ConvertKit, ActiveCampaign. So you would want to use, like I recommend ConvertKit. If you need any help setting that up, I have a link that gets you like 1,000 free emails with ConvertKit. So if anyone's interested in that, if you don't have an email system, you would want to send it through whatever you use to send your emails out. Is there a way to see the data over time, useful in more recent events, having higher scores? Yeah, so what you can do right here is on your dashboard, let me have this pop up for you. Boom. You can see all of your reports here and see how they are. Over time, one of the things that we are really excited about surfacing for you are reports that would be super fascinating that most of us would love but don't do. For example, how many times did you speak in March? How many times did you speak in March this year versus last year? Which talks do you get booked for the most? Which talks do you get paid the most money for? We're going to be able to surface lots of data for you because you have data. So that reporting is 100% on the roadmap. We're going to put that together because, you know, people ask us all the time, like, how many people did you speak to this year? And we kind of make it up. We don't really know. I did like 30 events. I spoke to like 10,000 people. We kind of pull it out of the air. But now we can actually find out how many events we did, how many people we spoke to with a little bit more accuracy, and you can get really good data. So it'll be really helpful to know, like, oh, snap, August is my busiest month and September is my slowest month. So you'll know how to prepare for September better because you have data, which a lot of times people don't have, right? Yeah, Janae says she has ConvertKit. Yeah, ConvertKit is perfect for sending emails. Really, really good. I always have no idea what to do while they fill it out. How do you handle that? Oh, great question. So what do you do when someone is filling it out? I'll tell you exactly what I do. So let me give you my exact feedback so nobody can feel uncomfortable, okay? So I'm gonna imagine, let's actually do it. All right, everyone, we're actually gonna give me feedback, okay? So we're actually gonna do this in real time. I want you to see how it works. And then after this, I wanna show you, so I wanna get your feedback. Hold on, let me put, yeah, let's do that. And then code is list. Okay, so let me show you how I do it. So if I was set up, it would be set up like this. Now, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna show you how this works. Then I'm going to show you, because by this time you should be worrying, okay, that's cool. How much does it cost? And then I got a really cool bonus that I want to give away to all of you as well. So it's going to be really cool. So here's how I do this in a live in-person presentation. So I'm going into speaker mode so you don't feel uncomfortable while people are giving feedback. So I give some amazing point away, right? I say something, you know, wonderful. And I go, hey, out of curiosity, by a show of hands, how many people found this session valuable so far today? Oh, great, I'm so glad to hear that. The best way you can pay me back is to let me know what you thought about my presentation. I want to know what you liked about it so I can do more of it. I want to know what you disliked about it so I can improve upon it. And the best way for me to do that is to let me know what you think. So if you can take your phones out right now, and you can definitely do this right now, since we're in the virtual world, you can click on that link I just put in the chat. Open up your camera app, scan the QR code. It's going to pull up a really quick, really short feedback form. If you put in the code LIST, as a thank you for giving me your feedback on how you thought about this presentation today, I will give you access to a list of 19 groups that book speakers right now as a thank you for giving me feedback, okay? Now, all you gotta do is tell me what you liked and what you disliked, and I really, really appreciate it. Now, in an in-person presentation, now at this moment, I walk over to my host. Typically, your host is backstage or at the front of the stage, sitting in the front. I walk over to my host and I say, hey, they're gonna fill out this feedback form. It's gonna take like 2 minutes and then we're gonna wrap up. How's everything going? Is it going well? Oh my gosh, yeah, it's going really good. Oh, so great to hear. Is there anything you want me to say or any announcements you wanna make before we wrap up? Oh, no. Or yes, whatever. Okay, cool, thanks so much. I'm super excited about it. Then I walk back on stage and I go, all right, make sure to let me know when you're done. And when you're done filling out your feedback form, put your phone down and look up so I know that you're finished. Now, typically, by the time I walked down to my host, had my little customer service moment with them, and walk back on stage, most people are putting their phone down and looking up. Now, if you do that and there's still people taking the feedback flow, what I like to do is I personally do my thank yous at the end of my presentation. I could do a whole masterclass on why it's way smarter to thank your host at the end versus at the beginning. Most speakers thank their host at the beginning. I think that's stupid for lots of reasons. I thank them at the end. If you want to know why, it's because if you thank someone in the beginning, the audience doesn't care who you are. So your thank is meaningless. But after you've poured into them for an hour and changed their lives, the fact that the person that you want to acknowledge brought you in, now your thank means so much more. So what I do is if there's more time, I'll go over to my list of thank yous and I'll re-say the names in my head of who I need to thank. because I usually write them down, or I'll like put them on a post-it note or something like that on the lectern, or if I'd like have it in my memory, I'll try to remember it. And then I'll go, all right, thank you so much. I see everyone's heads looking up. I want to say big thank you to, Joanna and blah, blah, blah for bringing me in. Now I want to leave you with one final thought, and then I go into my close, right? So what I do during the time that people are asking for their feedback is I ask them, I go over to my host, I create a customer service moment, and they absolutely love it. Other speakers do other things. We have some speakers that play music. Another speaker likes to just shuffle papers around. So there's lots of things you can do, but I find that that's the best thing to do when you create a customer service experience. In the virtual world, what I tell people to do is in the chat put the word done when they're done taking giving me their feedback. And when I see a bunch of dones coming in, I'll know that they're done and I'll let them go. So I just sit there and I hold the space. People give me their feedback, and then I move into the close. Okay. So let me show you cool thing that we have. Okay. Wow. Actually, hold on. I'm going to pull something up. Oh, I got this thing I want to show you. This is going to be really cool. So we're coming down to the last few minutes, and then we're going to open it up for Q&A and all that kind of fun stuff. But you've been asking questions already, which I'm super, super happy about. So let's talk about pricing and bonuses, okay? Because if I was in your shoes, I'd be like, bruh, okay, we see all this. How much does it cost? Okay. So let's go to the pricing page so you can see this. And honestly, it's going to be ridiculous. You're going to be like, seriously? That's what you're working with? I'm going to be like, yeah, that'll be it. Yeah. I'm going to give you a benefit as well. Here we go. Okay, I got this. I got my thing pulled up. So this is the investment. Ta-da! We have a totally free account. So if any of you are like, OMG, how much does it cost? Well, we have a free account and we have a paid account. What's the difference between the free account and the paid account? Let me explain it to you. Now, if you go to this link right here and sign up, let me tell you what's going to happen, okay? Number one, you get unlimited responses, unlimited events with a free account, meaning you can collect as much data as you want for as many events as you want, no limitations whatsoever. Now, where you do get limited with a free account is that we collect 100 emails for you. So whether they're a booking lead, a referral lead, or an email opt-in, you get 100 for free. And our hope is that if we can get you 100 people that want to book you, that want to refer you, that want to be on your email list, you've already created some serious value, okay? You can do 3 offer codes. That means you can give away 3 different things for free. So if you want to give away a PDF, an ebook, you get 3 different codes, no limitation whatsoever. And you only get our standard feedback sequence, actionable, relevant, inspiring, those basic things. And then you also get your public profile. Now, if you upgrade to our free account, you get unlimited responses, unlimited events, unlimited email opt-ins, unlimited leads, so no limitation whatsoever on any of those things. You can create as many different things you want to give away, as many different offer codes as possible. You can customize your feedback sequence, so you can change your 1 to 5 Likert scale so it's more appropriate to you. You can add a custom qualitative question, and you can do your booking link integration. And if you have Speaker Flow, which is a CRM for speakers, which is a really cool tool, we have a direct integration with Speaker Flow, and you of course get your public profile. So $35 a month billed annually. So we bill it annually, it's $420, okay? Now I want you to put this in frame of perspective. If you're charging at least $4,000 for a speaking engagement, which like most people should, and if you're not, I can show you where you should be going to get at least that, because that's like a very bare minimum in whether the high school, college, corporate space. So if you can get one speaking engagement using Talkadot, using data, getting leads, posting it, using it as marketing, you will 10x your investment in Talkadot with one speaking engagement. If you get 2, it's off. Forget, I don't even know what the math is, right? And you can use that throughout the entire year. Now, here's a super cool bonus that we're going to be doing for y'all, okay? So I put that link in the chat. You can click on that link and get a free account if you'd like. What we will do, if you use that link, is we will upgrade everyone to a pro account for 30 days, okay? You'll upgrade so what that means is you can get a full account, see how it works, play around with it, do all the fun stuff you want to do. No credit card required, just our gift to you. If you do decide to upgrade, if you do it within the first 30 days, we'll knock the price down to $374. And the way that works is that you pay $399 and then we give you a $25 rebate. And then it's $399 moving forward. So instead of it being $420, you save some money. And if you do it within the first 30 days, we save you a little bit more. Now, in addition to that, if you decide to upgrade to a pro account before Sunday, this is where I want to say thank you for being a fast action person. If you're someone who's like, look, it's a no-brainer for me, I want to move forward, I'm 100% gonna thank those people. So here's what I'm gonna do for you, okay? Number one, I'm gonna give you access to our pretty much guaranteed rebooking template. We're gonna give you exactly what to say, what words to say, in to get rebooked by the person who brought you in or referred by the person who brought you in. For all the people that say they go into your booking lead category, I'm going to give you the exact email. There's a 5 email sequence that you'll send to people in your booking category that will get them to get on the phone with you so you can close them. And then I'm going to give you, hands down, the best cold outreach email you have ever seen in your life. You just use our cold outreach template and you reach out to people and you will get booking, you will book speaking engagements. I promise you. If you send out the template we give you, it works. Now, for any of you who's like, okay, Arel, that'd be really nice if I had someone to send it out to, here's the other thing that we're going to give you. We're going to give you a list of 100 people who are currently, right now, looking to book speakers. Whether they're in the safety industry, if you look at column I, safety industry, government administrations, nonprofit, computer software, leadership, cybersecurity, business, we're going to give you 100 people who right now are like, yo, we have an event coming up. We have people have events in August, September. We'll give you them. We'll give you their emails, their phone numbers, and all of that stuff, right? So this list is primarily in the US. There are some things that are in the UK, and some lists that are, mostly UK and US and Canada, but by far and large, most of these leads are in the US of A, for sure, okay? So let me jump into questions. So again, if you wanna get those things, the link that I just put in the chat, click on that, create a link, sign up right now. Like if anybody wants to sign up right now, it always is the greatest feeling in the world when I'm doing these webinars and I get to go, look, we got a new person to Talkadot family. One of the things we also do, we do trainings for all of our users, absolutely for free. So if you become a Talkadot user, free or paid, we do trainings for everyone. For our pro users, for those of you who do upgrade, we have special trainings just for you where we go into a lot more detail and give you like templates and things like that. Like for example, those templates I'm giving you, those are for our pro users only. Because if you invest in us, we want to invest back in you. It's just the even exchange. And again, for $399 for the year, I really do hope it's a no-brainer. If you're like, Aurel, it's not a no-brainer, I don't like it, try out the free account. See how that works. And then you can see if everything I said is indeed as easy as it is. And if there's anyone on this webinar who actually has a light account, a free account, we have the best customer service. I can say that. If anyone in the chat has ever had an interaction with Mike on our team, what has that experience been like for you? Does he respond? Is he helpful? Does our team actually reach out? Like we generally have a group of people that not only want to see you succeed, but we genuinely care about you succeeding. We want you to be the unicorn of your industry. We want you to drop the mic every single time you speak and get the data you need, build your list, and get the leads you need so that every single time you speak in just 3 minutes, you're getting data, you're building your list, and you're getting leads every single time you speak, and that creates the momentum that helps you move forward. So I hope that was super helpful. I want to answer any questions that you might have. Somebody asked me about the list of 19 groups that book speakers. You got to give me feedback to get that list, baby. You can't just get that list. So if you want to, scan the QR code or put in that link and then give me your feedback, you can go ahead and do so if you want to get that list of 19 groups that book speakers. But if you want all of the contact information, like if you want this, that's only available to pro users if they upgrade. So let me check questions. So right now, throw any questions that you have in the chat. If anybody, again, does indeed want to upgrade to pro, I'll put the link in there one more time. Please go ahead and just pull the trigger right now and just do it. And again,
I could just move the letter and put it back in.
Oh, what's that? Did someone say something? Oh, we got someone unmuted accidentally. I'm going to mute everybody. All right, so throw your questions in the chat. Let me look at questions you have. Any questions you have about the tool or how it works, I'm happy to answer that. Yes, Ilana, you said I already have a free account. Can I get the bonuses? Yeah, absolutely. So if you send an email to hello@Talkadot, if you upgrade, you can get those extra special bonuses. If you want to just try out the pro for 30 days, send an email to hello@talkadot.com and we'll get you hooked up. Yeah. So would you say the 4K is a fair baseline number for workshops as well? Yes, if you're charging less than $4,000, I generally think that you're either A, don't understand how the speaking industry works too much, right? And that's not an offensive statement in any way. I'm just saying, like, people are accustomed to paying that price at the college level, at the high school level, at the corporate level, at the nonprofit level. Now, for full transparency, all organizations are not built the same. There are some people that will spend $50,000 on a speaker. Like, I've brought in celebrity speakers that have cost me $75,000 to pay for them to come in and speak. Now, other groups can't pay $75,000 to bring anybody in to speak, right? Like, that's like how it works. So not every group is built the same, but as standard rates go, 4,000 in the high school market, the college market, the corporate market, nobody will bat an eye. Now, some people go, oh my gosh, we only have $400 for a speaker. Well, if you're getting that often, you're probably looking in the wrong industry, right? There are certain industries, like, if you went to a college professor and say, hey, you work at a college, could you book me to speak? They're going to be like, I ain't got no money to pay you, right? But if you went to the student activities department, they got tons of money to book you to speak. You go to a corporation, you say to the entry-level employee, hey, bring me into your company, can you pay me $4,000 to speak? They'll fall out of their chair. But if you go to the VP of sales, yeah, they got a budget. So it's also knowing like which industries are fruitful and which industries aren't. And the more that you understand that, the better and better you'll be. We have tons of content to help our users with this. We have tons of Q&A. We have the best community, in my opinion, of speakers that are truly givers, that share their information freely on our pro training calls. They're just, honestly, everyone shares. We have international speakers who are like, here's exactly how you get international speaking engagements. And if anyone has any questions, I'll connect you with people. Here's how you get these government grants. And you learn about things that you've never, ever heard about. It's just really genuinely great. And there's no additional fees. The other thing that's also important, and I want to share this, we have no ascension ladder. I know many of you are like, oh, I get it. I'm going to spend this $35 a month billed annually, but then you're going to sell me on like a $12,000 coaching program. Isn't that how this is going to work? No, that's not how it's going to work. It's straightforward. It's literally just is what it is. So like, we try to make this simple. Like, I've been on all those things that I've disliked. We don't want to put you on those. It's straightforward. It's to the point. So if you'd like to get access to it, please, please, please click on the link that's in the chat, become a pro user and see for yourself. And if you don't want to become a pro user right away, get one of the free accounts, test this out, see if all I'm saying is true. But again, for everyone who does upgrade between now and Sunday, as a thank you for taking fast action, we'll give you the templates and the list as well. Okay, so let me go back to the questions. Tips on creating your offer code. Yeah, great question. So number one, you want to make your offer code, so this word right here, this word list, relevant to the thing you're giving away or relevant to your brand. So I do a presentation that uses the word bunker. So we talk about this idea of like getting into the bunker with your team. It's about in team building. So I'll use the word bunker. So using a one word that either is relevant to your message. So like if I'm like, I see Bruce says clone your best client, my code might be clone as an example, CLONE, because it's relevant to my brand. As a bonus, what I like to do is whatever I'm going to give away, I like to tease it in the beginning of my presentation. Now, the easiest thing for you to give away as a bonus is a copy of your slides. Almost everyone asks me for a copy of my slides. I'm one of those speakers who I couldn't care less if you have my slides, because just because you have my slides doesn't mean you have my content, because how I deliver it is totally different than what you see on the slides. So what I do is I turn my slides into a PDF. And what I say earlier in my presentation is, hey, if anyone likes to take notes, this is a really great place to start. But if you don't like taking notes, don't worry about it. I got your back. At the end of the presentation, I'm going to show you how to get access to all my slides so you have all the notes you need so you can just be focused. And I cannot tell you how many people put their pens down and go, oh, thank goodness that you did that for me. And then I just give them a copy of my slides and they're super happy about it. So I recommend using simple words, one word, list, power, cool, bonus, gift, something like that. And if you're trying to think of, well, if you've got like videos or audio programs or Excel spreadsheets or things that are helpful, you can give it away to your audience. And if you don't have anything, you can give away a copy of your slides. If you don't have any of those things, which is possible, let me show you this. So if you don't have anything to give away, use this slide. There's a slide right here that says talk. So all you would do is download this slide, and this slide right here that says talk, that is our generic code that tells our system at the end of the feedback flow, don't give anything away. Just say, thanks so much for taking my feedback. Connect with me on social media. So if you want to use this and you don't have anything, you don't have to give your audience anything as a thank you for taking, giving you your feedback. If you use this slide, then it just says thank you and it keeps it moving. All right, let's see other questions. Okay, cool. I joined the meeting late. What are the top 2 or 3 things to go for free to pro? I used the free account for the first time and got great feedback. Okay, Vivian, great question. So the main reasons to go from free to pro, let me pull that up for you, is, where'd I put my, let me just go here. Beep, 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 beep. So Vivian, to answer your question, here are the main differences of free to pro. With free, you get unlimited responses, unlimited events, but you're capped at 100 opt-in emails. So whether you get booking, referral, or email opt-ins, once you hit 100, you don't get any more until you unlock to pro. You can only give away 3 offer codes, and you can't customize your feedback sequence. With a free account, you get unlimited email opt-ins, unlimited offer codes. You can customize your feedback sequence, so your emoji questions, and you can customize your qualitative question. And on this particular call, we're also giving away this, which I think is a pretty nifty reason to go pro. We are giving away templates for how to get rebooked. So when a client brings you in, what exactly to send to them as a rebooking email. We're giving you what to send to your booking leads so that they'll actually jump on the phone with you. And then we're going to give you an email template for how to cold outreach to people, and how to use Talkadot on all different one of these, so you can get brand new people to work with you, and you can get the people who've seen you to speak to want to work more deeply with you. In addition to that, we're giving you a list of 100 people that are booking speakers right now. That includes their name, email, phone, title, links to apply to speak, direct contact, and all that stuff already pre-made for you, so you can start using the templates right away. So that is the reason to go from free to pro. Celeste said, but they said that was their budget and asked if they would promote my book. Yeah, Celeste, if you say 4,000 and they go, I only got 3,500. They might only have 3,500, but they're not going to fall out of their seat if you say 4,000. They're not going to be like, oh my gosh, like they paid you 3,500. 4,000 isn't unreasonable. Now, as a little bonus for anybody, if you ever come in at a number and people say we don't have your budget, well, that's where you get creative. You start saying things like, well, could you record my presentation for me? Then you get free demo video. Then you say things like, well, could you put my name on the front of the conference as a title sponsor in exchange? Yeah, we could do that. Can you give me a list of everyone that's coming? Can you invite other people who might book me to speak? So there's other, do you have a professional photographer that you can bring in and take photos? So whenever someone can't come to your feed, there's always ways to be creative. You can say, oh, well, can you book me for 2 events at 3,500? And I'll give you, $500 off, and then we can do one now, one later, right? So there's lots of different variable things you can do. And, we cover all stuff like that and answer all sorts of questions for everyone in our community. But these are really, really great questions. David said, just upgraded. Oh, snap. Shout out to David. Welcome to the family with your glasses and your beautiful hair. I don't know how your hair is so perfect, but it's just fantastic. And I just want to acknowledge that. So welcome. This is going to be so awesome. Use it for your talk next week. And again, we're generally here to help, like any questions that you have. Hopefully you've had a great experience so far, but truly, our goal is to support our community as best possible. So shout out to David, such a rock star. Is that 100 event or 100 total? Great question, Ruth. That's 100 in total. So if you speak at one event and there's 300 people, the first 100 people you'll get access to. And then if you'd like to get the rest of those people, you would upgrade to pro. If you speak at an event and there's only 12 people, then there's only 12 people at that event. Then your next event, there's 8 people. Now you've hit your 20 number. So when you have 100 in total, that's when you hit that limit right there. Okay. Great. I'm already using it. This is great. Is the QR code the song for each offer? Is that code different? What happens? Yeah, great question. So you have the exact same QR code. This QR code right here goes to this link right here. So in this case, talk.ac/rel or talk.ac/moody. It's the exact same QR code. The reason why that's so powerful, gone are the days of having to download 27 different QR codes, right? Our system keeps track of when people answer by time. This is the key, okay? So where most QR codes are based on the survey, ours is based on when does feedback come in. So if you have a, let's say like this talk was April 19th, right? On April 19th, I get a cluster of responses that come in. Our system goes, "Oop, we've got responses. Let's cluster them together." Let's say you're doing more than one talk on the same day. As long as those talks are more than 20 minutes apart, which I don't see anybody using Talkadot for 2 5-minute talks, as long as they're at least 20 minutes apart, which again, all presentations will be, it chunks those clusters of comments together. Now, for anyone who's like, but Aurel, you said I could use this for webinars or podcasts. What happens if I'm doing recorded content? If you chunk it by time, won't someone who watches my webinar 5 months from now give me feedback and mess up my scores? Well, you'll notice that there's these locks right here. Now, if you click here and go to edit event, and you go down to the advanced settings section and you click here, and then you click a code that you want to lock and then lock it. Whenever data comes in for that particular code, it will lock that code. So what that means is that you can lock a code, and I've done this, I was just on a podcast and I say, hey everyone, click on the link, give me your feedback. But I created a code just for that podcast because I'm gonna lock that code. So the code was freedom. I'm gonna lock that code so that anytime someone goes to that podcast and puts in the code freedom, it goes to that one report line. So this also helps me track, and this is also interesting for anyone who goes on podcasts. You ever go on a podcast and you're like, was anyone listening? Did anyone actually do anything? I was on the podcast, did it do anything? Well, I can start tracking, I'll use a different code. Again, with the pro account, I can create unlimited codes. So I'll create a different code for each one of the podcasts that I go on. And then I'll see, oh snap, I got 12 responses from this podcast, but I got 120 responses from this podcast. Now I know which podcast is actually bringing me more people versus, you know, sometimes people say, how'd you hear about me? I heard you on a podcast. Which one? Oh, I don't remember. I listen to so many podcasts. Now I can actually track where people come from. So you can lock codes, bring people in. If you ever want to combine things, you can also, oh, let me show you this. I didn't show you that. You can combine. So here's a perfect example. Let's say, let me bring this up here. Cancel that. So let's say, for example, these two. Let's say this one and this one, I wanted to actually combine them. Maybe you do 3 workshops in the same day, but you don't want 3 different reports. You want one report on that one workshop because it was the same workshop. You would just click on this and then click on this. Watch this. Wow, this pops up that says merge into one event. I'm not going to actually do it, but I would click that and then it says you're about to merge the events. Are you sure you want to do it? It's not reversible. Then I would confirm, which I'm not going to do. And then it would take all of this data and put it into one report. So if you do multiple presentations on the same day, you can get individual reports for each one. And if you want to put them all on one report, you can combine them as well. So one QR code does all the magic for you. Now, if you use our slide, if you download our slide like Bunker right here, right? Now, if you use our particular slide, if you scan this QR code, it will automatically fill in the word bunker for you. So we've created each one of these slides to connect to this particular code when someone scans it. But if you use your generic code, like you want to create your own slide or whatever, all your audience would have to do is manually type in the code. That's it. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And if there's anything that we can't do, you're like, oh my gosh, Aurel, can you do this or can you do that? Just let us know. Like we're constantly trying, like hopefully you can see we built this for speakers. You can go out and use SurveyMonkey. Go ahead. It's a great tool. Go out and use Google Form, but they ain't going to do all this for you. They're not going to make it work so well. And if you got a question, look, if you got a question for SurveyMonkey, go ahead, email them, see if they make a change. You got a question for Google Forms, email Google Forms right now. See if somebody responds to you. We'll get back to you as soon as we possibly can because we give a damn about our users, okay? So let's go more questions. Who has more questions about Talkadot, about how it works, about the pricing, about the bonuses, about anything like that? Let me know and I'll be happy to answer them as best I can. I'm gonna put the link one there again in the chat. I don't know if anyone's like, oh Lord, what was the link for me to register to get all the bonuses? Just go there and register. And again, you can get the thing for free. You can upgrade it to Pro for 30 days. Try it out, see if you like it. If you want to just get that link, register for an account and then upgrade to Pro. Anyone who upgrades to Pro between now and Sunday, in addition to getting the cool bonuses that I mentioned, like you get the rebate as well, so you get a little bit of a lower price. I'll also give you the cold contact template and the list of 100 people booking speakers right now, so you can go reach out to them and start doing all the wonderful things to book more speaking engagements. So happy to do that. Okay, other questions that you might have, feel free to throw them in the chat. If you would rather unmute yourself and ask your question unmuted, any how abouts, yeah buts, what ifs, all questions are welcome. I'm gonna just hold the space. Hey, Ro, I'm part of Innovation Woman. Would it be better to upgrade there? Yeah, you can upgrade wherever you want to upgrade. As long as you upgrade between now and Sunday, you'll get access to all the bonuses, right? So Bobby Carlton is awesome. We love Bobby. She is the bee's knees. So as long as you upgrade to a pro account between now and Sunday, you are golden. Is this a great tool for new speakers? Yeah, Angelina, I cannot tell you how many speakers have said, where were you 5 years ago when I was first getting started? Where was I with, like, I wish I had this. The reason why it's so great to use this as a new speaker is for a few reasons. The first reason is, as a new speaker, you're trying your content out. You're trying to figure out what your messaging is. You're trying to figure out what resonates with your audience. So getting the feedback from your audience is quintessential at the beginning of your speaker. So when you go out and do a presentation, whether it's a free presentation, paid presentation, it doesn't matter. You want to know what works, what's good. Like, does this story work? So you can ask feedback like, hey, I told this story. Did you like this story? Or, what did you wish I covered that I didn't? Or what was your favorite part? And you're trying to look for patterns, because in the beginning, we're trying to get our footing. So number one, it's going to help you get better at delivery. Number two, you're going to build your email list starting now as a new speaker. There are so many speakers that go, oh my gosh, I wish I had this 10 years ago when I was starting. I would have, tens of thousands of people on my email newsletter. Yeah, you would, but as the Chinese proverb says, the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time to plant a tree is today. So I would encourage you, Angelique, to get an account. Again, try the free account if you're not ready to commit to, like, again, it's $400. It's not like we're not trying to, like, this is hopefully affordable. And if you're like, oh my gosh, $400, I'm at the beginning, I don't know if it is. That's why we have the free account. The free account is there for you to use it to build up your skill set and repertoire so that you can build your list, build your data so that you're making the best decisions and you can start marketing yourself right now as an evidence-based speaker. Okay, so I highly recommend it, whether you've been in the game for 100 years and you're like, gosh, I wish I would have had this 100 years ago. Start today. If you're just getting started, you in 20 years is going to be like, thank you so much, Angelina, for making my life so much easier. And you'll start getting results today, which matters the most. You're welcome, Angelina. So Alan said, can you send out follow-up emails? Can you send us a follow-up email about this? Yes, Alan. So I didn't understand the question at first. Can we send you a follow-up email? Like, yes, we're going to send you an email about everything that you're going to get, all the bonuses. We're going to be, if anybody wants to watch the replay, share it with a friend or a colleague. You can watch it together, have a popcorn party and be like, there's that guy who's kind of bald, kind of looks like a broke Shamar Moore. You can do that too. Yeah. So we'll send everything as long as you register for this, which you're here. So I assume you did, you'll be able to get access to it. Any other questionrinos? And again, if you don't have an account, if for some reason you don't have an account yet, make sure to click on that account and register and get an account. Like I said, the worst thing that'll happen is you get a free account that we upgrade to a pro account so you can play around with it. After that, if you don't want to upgrade, it'll just downgrade you to a free account, which everyone can afford. And if you're like, no, this makes sense, I want to invest in myself and, no questions, let's get the email list, let's get the leads. I'm confident, I'm willing to do the work. I'll put it out there. $35 a month, billed annually. Again, this ain't a $12,000 coaching program. This isn't a $100,000 thing. We're hopefully putting at a price that is a no-brainer. So if anyone's like concerned, if you're like, oh my gosh, is this person legit? By all means, stay involved. Reach out to any of our Talkadot users. Go to LinkedIn. We'll do this. This will be fun. Let's do a little. In case anyone's like, is this legit? Because some people might be thinking to themselves, is this legit? Let me show you something that is gonna be really cool. We'll just do this, post. All right, and then I'm gonna filter this. Okay. All right, check this out. Let me share my, oh, I didn't share my screen. Oh Lord, I've been doing this without sharing my screen. Hold on, here we go. So if you go to LinkedIn and you type in Talkadot into the search engine right here, that's me speaking. You know, I put up some video here, but you'll see, you know, tons of speakers are already using our tool. So if there's anyone who's like, oh my gosh, is this like legit? Do other people use it? These are all people that are currently speakers on our site using our tool and getting great results with it, right? So it's not anything that we're making up. It's not like we're like, oh my gosh, you can't trust us. We're super villains. You know, again, some people are like very concerned about all that. Like we're a legit. Oh, look, that's me. Like that was me. Look how long ago. That's me. I had no hair. Speaking back in the day, that's my college actually. They have a big poster of me, which is super kind. I like to call this guy Hair Rel because he has hair and I'm bald. I'm a Rel. That's Hair Rel. Anyway, so again, so I'm just saying like I can scroll through here and you can see tons and tons of speakers using Talkadot right now. So hopefully that's super helpful and super beneficial for everyone as well. Okay, so more questionrinos. Why are you doing this webinar when you just host Disney? Just curious. Yeah, so speaking is like my main thing. Disney happened because I was a speaker, right? So my main passion is speaking. And then as a speaker, I became one of the co-founders of Talkadot, which is the software tool. So the tool that you just showed you, I'm not like a spokesperson who works on Disney. This is my tool. So I'm an entrepreneur first. And because of my skill set, and because of the things that I do, it happened to lead to a Disney show. So thank you for asking that question. So I'm one of the co-founders of Talkadot. So all of the cool things that I get to do are really natural extensions of being a speaker. You know, this software tool is being built because this was the thing I wish happened for my speaking career. The Disney show happened because I was a speaker and someone saw me speak and said, oh my gosh, you should host a show. And I said, cool, let's make it happen. So, you know, all of the cool things that happen, whether it's a TEDx talk, me speaking at the White House 2 years in a row, me doing my book, has all stemmed from speaking. It's like my love, it's my passion. So that's why I'm here and that's why I'm doing this. Oh my gosh, shout out to you, David. I just read your comment. I'm not going to say what you said, but oh my gosh, thank you. You're amazing. Appreciate you. Yeah, this is great. We got to connect more. Thank you, Angelina, for the no hair reference because, yeah, you know, I ain't got no hairline left, okay? I'm not David Sussin with the beautiful coiffed hair over there. I'm just so jealous. I'm not jealous. I respect you. I don't have a hairline. That's all I'm saying. Other questions that folks have before we continue? I'll hold the space. If anyone wants to unmute, because you're like, oh Lord, I'm typing, but you're gonna end the call before I'm done typing, feel free to unmute yourself and ask a question. Happy to answer.
Hey, this is Angelina. What's your favorite feature on Talkadot?
Oh, the social media share by far. The social media share by far. So my favorite personal is this is the thing that, let's go back here and let's pull up, I'll show you the feature just to make sure we're all on the same page, right? So this was an insurance company that I did a presentation for. Now, when I'm done speaking, I go right here, share this report, and then this feature right here. This is my favorite feature because I then post this on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and I say, wow, look at this great feedback that I got. I'm so excited about that. I share this with my host. I tell my host to share it. I've had hosts post this image on their social media. I've had my host take this image and put it into their annual reports. I've had this emailed out to other potential clients from my client. So this image by far has gotten me the most bang for my buck, if you will. And the thing that I love the most about it is I don't have to design it. You know, a lot of times I've seen people a lot of people start posting our image and they're just like, yo, what Canva template is that? What Canva template is that? It's like, yo, it's not a Canva template, it's Talkadot. Because most of the time we've got to go create something ourselves. So the fact that it's automatically created and I don't have to waste any time to do it, that's by far one of my favorite features.
That is so cool. Love it. Nice infographic summarizing.
Exactly. Let's keep it simple. Let's keep it easy. And again, all you got to do is create your slide, download it, put it into your presentation, tell people to give your feedback, and that's it. No more tech, no more lift. It's super chef's kiss. Super simple.
Wow. And in the pro account, you had those pre-written surveys, like the feedback questions.
Yeah, so
As far as
in the pro account, let me just let me show you real quick so I can make sure we is on the same page. Let me just hit I keep unsharing my screen so you can see me big, and then I just share it again because okay, so if you click add another Talkadot offer on a pro account, you can change these questions. So did you see when I did the emoji questions 1 to 5, was it actionable, was it inspiring, was it engaging? Do you remember that part, or do you need me to reshare?
yes.
Okay, so maybe you don't want to, maybe you're someone who's like, yo, I don't do interactive presentations. I'm a keynote speaker. Interaction isn't part of what I do. Okay, cool. So now instead of interactive, you can change it to informative. And maybe you're not an inspiring speaker. Maybe you're more like hard data, hard details, and you're not doing inspirational stuff. So you're like, inspiring doesn't really, that's not a metric I want to be measured upon. You can change that to, powerful as an example. And then when you go here to test my Talkadot flow, this is the test, it will change these questions here. So instead of actionable, it'll be powerful. Instead of interactive, it would be informative, as an example. So you can change these questions with a pro account, and with a free account, there are standard questions, which you're seeing right now. And then with a pro account, let's just say no. See this question, if you had to describe this session to a friend or colleague, what would you say? That's with a free account. What else should this event organizer know? Then with a pro account, you can add an additional qualitative question as well. So you can say whatever you may, maybe as Angelina, you want to know, hey, are you interested in a coaching program? Or hey, are you interested in, what else would you want me to cover? Maybe you're trying to find out what other topics would be interesting for you to speak about. What else would you like me to cover? You can ask any other open-ended question you want with a pro account. So that's the difference between the feedback flow between the free one and the pro one.
Awesome. And with the email list, would you be able to download the emails and upload it to an autoresponder type
100%. Yes, that's 100% right. So the way that you would do that is when you click the My Leads section up here in the right-hand corner, all you have to do is click on that and then click download leads, and it'll download everything. The other thing you can do, just as if it's easier to do it this way, let's say you just want to download leads from one presentation a little bit more easily. So let's say I want to download all of my contacts from this talk. I can just click here and put download leads, and then it'll automatically download as a CSV file everything from just that one talk. So I don't have to worry about like, if I go here, I either have to click them all or individually click them. So if you want to do that, you can. If it's easier for you to just, I just want to get everything from that one talk, download them as a CSV file, upload them wherever you want, and have fun with it.
That's awesome. So you do a custom one per speech, which that's pretty cool because you can see how many leads you got for each speech.
That's exactly right. You can see, how many people went to my email list per speech, how many booking leads that I get. So, we'll eventually surface a lot of reports. The reason why we don't do the reporting just yet, for full transparency, is we're trying to figure out what's the most interesting things for us to surface that doesn't overwhelm people. Because sometimes with reports, people see them and they kind of glaze over because they're like, what am I looking at? So we're really working like tirelessly to figure out how to make it better. But you can use the same slide. Literally, I've used, like you'll see here, this is the code that I've used. Like I'll use, the same code ADT, 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 ADT. I'll use the same code over and over and over and over again. And I never have to download the slide more than once. All I have to do is download it once, stick it into, where is it? Beep, beep, beep. Into my presentation. And then it automatically does it for me. So it's not like a Survey Monkey where you got to create a new survey every single time you want to use it. It's just create it once, set it, and then you just forget it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And Rosie, you asked, how do you attach the lead magnet? Yeah, great question. So what you want to do is in this section where it says add another Talkadot offer. When you click on that, this window will pop up. You see this where it says upload your attendee offer for completing the feedback form. So here, if you have a web address, you can paste it in, or if you want to upload something, you can just click that arrow, and then I'll just like throw in, let's just throw in something real easy. We'll do that. zero budget growth, right? So, you know, like that's a thing I want to give away. And then, you know, I'll name it cool thing. And then so step 2 is just for me to know what it is. It's just for me. And then, you know, the short code could be growth. That would probably be appropriate because this is a zero budget growth. Now, if I want to collect leads, I keep this toggled on. But let's say I'm doing like 5 workshops for the same company and I'm on workshop 3. I don't want to ask the same audience, do they book speakers? So I might want to turn that off, and then I'm not going to capture any leads and I just get data and feedback. But I'll leave that on, and then I'll change this to, you know, informative, and I'll change this one to fun or whatever it might be. And then I might add a question like, you know, are you interested, are you interested in coaching? Right, so I could put something like that as my qualitative question, and I'll just show you how it works. I'll hit create offer. Our system then automatically creates this for us. Now, if someone scans this QR code, it'll automatically put my code growth in. If they go to my generic link, and I'll show you right here how it works, and you'll see it, they'll put in growth, and then that tells my system, give away that PDF. Now you'll notice my questions have now changed. It's now saying, is it informative instead of is it actionable as the first question? Is it fun? You see I changed those questions. So those questions will show up there. And then we'll say no here, skip. And now watch this, third question. Are you interested in coaching? So that wasn't there before. So you can add that additional open-ended question with that. And then when people are done, right here, because in this case, I did not say I booked speakers. So because I said I didn't book speakers and I didn't fill out the info, it just says get your bonus. And that's where they click on to get access to that, you know, cool PDF, which was a zero budget growth document. Does that answer your question? Let me know in the chat or.
Where was it that you can have them book a appointment with you?
Yeah, so great question. So let me go here. Go here. So let's say they put in growth, the one I just did. They put in their email. Was the session valuable? Yes. Was it informative? Was it fun? Was it interactive? Was it inspiring? Was it relevant? How'd you? Now, here, right here, do you see this part where it says, do you book speakers for events? If they say no, they don't book speakers for events, it bypasses the lead generation part of our feedback form. So they're not going to get the book a meeting link. But if they say, yes, they do book speakers, then we go, hey, do you want to book? Is it Maylee? How do you say your name? I probably said it wrong.
Miley rhymes with smiley.
Miley. Perfect. Thank you. So would you like to book Miley for a future speaking engagement? If they say not yet, the booking link doesn't show up. If they say yes or possibly, then we say, well, great. Can we get your contact information? Sure, you can get my contact information. Here's my name. Here's my phone number. Then they go, here's my title. Here's my title. And here's my organization. Because they said, yes, they want to book Miley. Here's my contact information. Here's my title. Now at the end of our feedback flow, it gives them the book a meeting link option. So that only shows up for people who are interested in booking you to speak, because we don't want 300 people scheduling a meeting with you just to be like, oh my gosh, Miley, I love that you spoke at our conference. It was amazing. Oh, thank you. What was the purpose of this phone call? Oh, nothing. I just loved you so much. I just wanted to talk to you. You're gonna be like, Aurel, what are you doing? Send up 3. So we only want people who've identified themselves that they can book you to speak to have the option to jump in your calendar. If you want to have everyone jump on your calendar, you can send the email out separately saying, here's my calendar link, please schedule a meeting. But we just didn't want you to get 300 meetings that were irrelevant. We only want you to get meetings that are close to booking as possible. Does that answer your question, Miley? Okay, very cool. Awesome. Other questionrinos. I keep doing this. I stop sharing it so that we can be more personal. You can see me. And then there's a question. I go, I'm going to reshare my screen. So I don't mind sharing it. I'm happy to answer any questions. And I'll stick around for another 6 minutes or so. 5, 9:38, 7 minutes. Yeah, 7 minutes. I'll stick around for 7 more minutes and answer any more questions that we have. So happy to answer these and be as supportive as I can. Again, feel free to ask questions in the chat or unmute yourself and ask in person.
This is Angelina again. I do have
Angelina,
another.
what's going on?
Love your energy, upbeat. 40. Can you go in detail as far as what templates are attached in the pro account?
When you say templates, what are you referring to?
Any of them? I know it said you get more with the pro. So
Okay,
that's
so what we're talking about, I think, are you talking about the actual feed? I think I know what you're talking about. Hold on. I think I know what you're talking about. You're talking about, are you talking about the email templates?
yeah, with whatever you get extra
Yes.
you
Okay. So you'll get access to a document, a Google document that's got 3 different series of emails on them as a pro user. The first is a rebooking email. So imagine I am the event planner for Awesome Incorporated and I bring in Angelina to speak. We're going to give you the exact template of what email you send to me to say, hey, Arel, thanks so much for bringing me in. This is why you should rebook me. This is why you need to refer me. This is what, like, exactly what to say. We give that to you. So every single time you speak, you'll send that template email to your host, and this will help you get rebooked. Okay. So that's the first template you get. The second template you get is for everyone who is in the booking category. So a lot of times leads come in and the people go, oh my gosh, somebody wants to book me to speak. What do I say? What do I do? How do I actually get them on the phone? Like that might be a little stressful for people. So we give you a 5 email sequence of what to send to people who are in your booking category. You just copy them, fill in your name instead of my name, and send it to them. And it increases the amount of people that will actually get on a call with you. And then cold outreach email. So let's say you're like, all right, I want to just reach out to someone and I want them, they've never heard of me. I want them to be interested in potentially booking me to speak. We give you what I believe is the best cold outreach template, what to say, how to reach out to them to get people to respond. So all you have to do is reach out to people. And then for anyone who's like, okay, well, I'd love to reach out to people, but I don't know who to reach out to. That's why we give you this list. So this is a list of 100 people booking speakers right now. So you can literally just go onto these emails and email these people and, see if you can get any speaking engagements from it. So those are the templates that you'll get as a bonus so that you can start getting speaking engagements and getting more speaking engagements so you can use Talkadot more and more and more.
awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Can you share some of the integrations with the pro account? Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to put that link back in there in case, Angelina, you didn't see it. So let me pull up the... Okay. So we have an integration with SpeakerFlow. So let me know, Coach Rob, if you use SpeakerFlow or not. SpeakerFlow is a CRM. If you're like, what SpeakerFlow? You probably don't use SpeakerFlow, but it's a CRM that's built for speakers. So we have a direct integration with them. And the way that it works is as your booking and your referral leads come into your Talkadot account, they automatically get put into your SpeakerFlow CRM. And then all the automations you have set up are good to go. Some people might say, well, what if I don't have SpeakerFlow? What if I use like Salesforce or, something else? Well, then you can just download your leads as a CSV file and upload it to them. If you have like ConvertKit or MailChimp, you can download your leads, upload it to your MailChimp and send emails out. So that's like, you can integrate it with anything because we give you the CSV file for you to put into anything that you want to put it into. And then the other distinctions are you can do custom questions. So the 1 to 5 questions, you can make them more personal to you. You can add an additional qualitative question and you've got no limit on your leads. So if you go here, once you hit, so in this case, there's 144 leads on this account. Once it hits 100, any additional leads will be grayed out. So they'll still come in. And then you can say, yeah, I'd like to see access to these leads. Then you upgrade to a pro account and then we unlock them. So we're still collecting all of the leads for you. We're still collecting all the email addresses for you. But the moment that you upgrade, we just make them visible. And the booking link, yes. So that is available as well, which is, where is it? I know it's in here. CRM, custom feedback offers. Yeah, it's here. So you can do the, why can't I see it? Custom responses, event, opt-in emails, leads, offer codes, feedback, segments, questions, integration, CRM. Yeah, booking link integration. I can't believe I couldn't see it. That was so weird. Yeah, so that the booking link feature is also a pro feature as well. Yeah, so again, that's on the pro account, not on the free account. So again, we just want to get people. I've had times where I've spoken, gotten off stage, boom, I got a meeting in my calendar for someone who wants to book me to speak. It's a great feeling. The more we can get you closer to not having to do the work you don't want to do. Most of us as speakers, like if we could just get on stage and speak, we'd be happy campers. This makes it very, very easy to get closer to that. This booking link, it can be anything you want it to be. It can be Calendly, it can be you can book me, it can be schedule once. It doesn't really matter what the link is. All you do is paste a link into your settings and you're good to go. Great questions. I love questions. Questions are the best. Other questions? We got about a minute. If you want to unmute yourself, do so. And if not, I'm going to say thank you mucho for hanging out with us.
Where are you based in?
I'm in New York. What about yourself?
Philadelphia.
Philly, beautiful place.
Neighboring cities.
That's right. Very close. Very close. You could throw a rock and hit Philadelphia if you're really strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Angelina, please stay in touch. And again, if anyone wants to reach out to me on LinkedIn, I'm the only Arel Moody on LinkedIn. It's actually super duper easy to find me. If you want my direct links in, because you're like, I'd like to stay in touch, Arel, please do. It would be my honor to stay in touch with you. So that's my LinkedIn account, linkedin.com/in/Arel Moody. Or if you give your feedback on the feedback form, you'll see my LinkedIn at the end of it. So thank you very much for joining me today. Again, 3 minutes each presentation. Get your data. You become an evidence-based speaker. You get to prove the effectiveness of your talks. You get reports instantly generated for you. You can turn them into social media images. You can get rebooked with it. You get booking leads from it. You get an email list that you can build a relationship with. And all you got to do is download one slide, stick it into your presentation deck, and you're done. So it's that simple. So definitely sign up for an account. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you spending your evening with me. I do not take this for granted. If you are on this call, it is because you have a message that you care about and you have people that you want to impact. And it is my honor to help you in any way I can, because I know that all of you are going to impact people I will never ever get to meet in this world. So in a small way, if we can all lift as we climb and positively impact others, so we all can do the great work we want to do to impact the great people on this earth. We are in a war of negativity. There's a whole lot of negative things out in this world. So people like us are fighting the good fight and bringing positive ideas, perspectives, and skills into the world. And as a craftsman to a fellow craftsman, I want to say thank you for all that you're doing to make the world better with your unique topic, your unique personality, and your unique ability to make a difference that someone like me will never have. And I think if we all realize we have that power, the more we will care about impacting people and the more we'll take the actions necessary to make the world a little bit better than how we found it. So thank you all for being here. Any questions at all, feel free to reach out to us at hello@talkadot.com. Hit me up on LinkedIn. If you like this presentation, my name's Arel Moody. If you dislike this presentation, my name's Shamar Moore. Have a good night, everybody.